What's going on, guys? Devin here with Backcountry Exposure. Today we're going to talk about two products from Paria Outdoor Products. You guys know that I really like the Paria line of products that are available from them. I have pretty much everything that they have, and full disclosure, Paria did send these products to me for review purposes, but I can be totally frank and honest in saying that I honestly just really enjoy the budget aspect, but also the quality that you get with a Paria product. So with that out of the way, this is the Breeze Mesh Bivy. It's a bug bivy, and it is really lightweight for what it is and the materials that are used. We're also going to look at the tapered Sanctuary Siltarp, which is one of the sizes that's available from Paria Outdoor Products for their Sanctuary Siltarp line. Now, the Breeze Mesh Bivy has a few unique aspects to it that kind of make it different than a lot of other style of bivvies out there. It is got a 25-inch peak height here at the head end, and then you're 84 inches long, 33 inches wide at the head, and 31 inches wide at the foot end. So you've got plenty of space, and I'm going to show you some close-ups here in a minute. I've got a 25-inch sleeping pad here inside to give you a little bit of perspective of what kind of space is available in here. It is very much an A-frame, and if I'm going to compare this to any other product that's out there, this is going to be very similar to the Mountain Laurel Designs Bug Bivy, in that you've got a ridgeline zipper, which I think is a really cool thing, as opposed to having a zipper here at the head end and crawling in army style to be able to get into the bivy. So we'll show you getting in and out of the bivy here in a minute, but you've got a good, generous, I think it's a 9-inch bathtub floor, so any kind of splash that you would get from a rainfall is going to protect you there. But you've got a lot of mesh up here, no-see mesh, that is going to give you a lot of breathability, and on those beautiful clear nights where you want to be protected from the bugs, you've got the ability to have this wide open, be protected from the bugs. Now, a little bit of story time. My good friend Jared has slept in this. He is like 6'5", I believe. He's a big dude, and this thing was plenty of space for him. He really enjoyed it, and the only aspect of it that was a little bit tricky is once you've got a tarp over top of this center line, this ridge line zipper, because you do have to step into it from the top down, is a little tricky. But Jared definitely, at that 6'5" height, definitely enjoyed this for what it was. And we were out together when he slept in this, using it when the mosquitoes were totally rampant. Now, some of the specs about this and things that are exciting for me about it is the tent alone, or the bivy alone, comes in at 13 ounces. Once you add the guy lines that are included, which is a 1.5 millimeter Dyneema reflective guy line, and the stakes, you're at 16 ounces with also the included stuff bag. So there's ways to decrease the weight on this. More in the stakes that you use, you could get some titanium stakes. In fact, my least favorite part of any of the Paria products are the stakes that are used. I've had so many of them bend, and I've had the tops of them break off from pounding them into the ground. Just not a fan of the stakes that Paria uses. However, you can replace them with whatever you want to save a little bit of weight there. Now, obviously, it is a non-freestanding bivy, so it does require trekking poles to be able to set this up. So if you're going to be out using this, obviously you're going to be carrying trekking poles as well, using that minimalist style of mindset. So what I'll do is go ahead and show you getting into the bivy. So it does have a 3/4 length zipper. So you can see it opens up pretty wide. And the one downside to this is, as I've been getting in and out of the bivy, you do have to be pretty mindful of how you get in, because I have tripped over this a lot, and you have to just spread it out with your hands. And just keep in mind that it's going to be different once there's a tarp on here. But basically just lay down, zip that up, and I've got plenty of great space in here. I want to get back out. The only thing that I don't really like about it is because it's difficult to spread this mesh apart, it can feel like you're being like cut off at your neck. But it's nice because, like, I mean, I could just sit out in the bivvy like this, be open to everything. But yeah, it's really not that bad, guys, for what it is. Ton of weight savings and really simple. Stepping out of it, can't tell you how many times I've tripped. The only other real downside to this for me is that you have the potential of tracking a lot of dirt and stuff into the tent, because you are stepping right into it as opposed to being able to sit at the foot end, clean off your feet, and then get in. So a nice ground sheet at the base here would be really beneficial for you. So here at the head end, you do have some nice reinforcement around the mesh right here, which is really nice. A good solid sliding zipper. The only other issue that I've really had with this is here on the line locks. Because this Dyneema cord is so thin, I've struggled to keep this from slipping on this line lock. So what I've done is, after I get it tensioned, I tie a little half hitch that allows me to pull this really easy. But basically it just allows it to make it so it doesn't slip, because it has been slipping for me when I've been using it. So moving down here to the foot end. So right here in the center, you've got this little loop that would make tying a little bit of cord to be able to lift it up if you wanted to add a little bit more tight of a pitch to the tent. You could do that. And then same idea here at the base end of the tent, or the foot end, you've got, again, that reinforced piece of ripstop nylon. Nice, really well sewn in loop. And then again, I've had to do that half hitch here so the line lock doesn't release, because it has been. Another aspect of this that I like is you do have this extra piece of cord to be able to do a tie out. And that tie out you can attach to your tarp, and that's going to let you essentially increase the height of the bathtub and just tension your pitch a lot more. Now that we've got the Sanctuary Siltarp in the taper cut set up over the mesh bivvy, we'll show you this head end here, give you an idea of how that pitch looks like with the tarp over top. And what I'm going to do here in a second is show you what it's like to get into the bivvy with that center ridgeline zip, and how it is to be able to manage getting through with the tarp over top. So then looking at the foot end of the tarp, you can see that you can make this really storm-proof by lowering your pitch a little bit. It just takes some practice and knowing how to set it up exactly. But you can see here down on this corner, by tying out that bathtub floor, you're able to increase the tautness and how tight that bathtub floor is with that extra piece of cord in that loop. So now what I want to do is show you getting into the mesh bivvy when you've got a tarp over top and what that process is like. So like I mentioned before, you've got this line lock right here, and all I'm going to do is release that line lock all the way down. Now again, I'll explain that, or tell you that I've had struggles with the line lock catching on this really thin cord. So it may be that you need to replace the cord, but what I just do is tie a little half hitch on there. And then I can climb underneath, push my zipper down, and by releasing that line lock, allows me to lower the tension on the bivvy, and then I can climb right in here, and I can pull this line lock. There we go. Just like that. Pull that zipper, and now I was able to get into the bivvy without having to be a contortionist to be able to get in with that tarp so close to the ridge line of the bivvy. And then to get out, Same process. Release that line lock. And with that 3/4 zip along that ridge line, it's actually really convenient. And I can just scooch on out. There you go, guys. And then here real quick, taking a look at the inside of the bivy, you can see got plenty of space for my feet to move around where I'm not gonna catch my sleeping bag around. You can see that foot end is nice and good and boxed. It's really, really convenient. And then up here at the head end, got a little hook right there to be able to hang whatever I need. The only thing that's really missing in here is any kind of a type of little mesh pocket, but that's really not that big of a deal. So there you go, guys. That's the Paria mesh bivy and the Sanctuary Siltarp in the taper cut. Really cool system, a really great minimalist style shelter that saves you a bunch of weight and space in your tent. It's a different way to camp. I think it's a great product and I'm super happy with it. You guys have seen the things that I'm not so fond of, but for the most part, just a quality piece of gear that is really good for your backpacking system. So with that, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. As always, have an awesome day.